This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
If you live in Vegas, you know it's a foodie town. But what might surprise you is that our top talent is leaving the Strip and going local. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm with Jolene Mannina. She's the creator of SecretBurger.com and founder of the Vegas Test Kitchen. She's got a list of Vegas's hottest new chefs and why they are talents to watch. It's Thursday, May 16th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. All right, Jolene, let's hear it. Who is topping your list of our rising star local chefs? Give me three to start.
Three is really tough, just because I feel like we're moving so quickly here. But let's talk about Chef Brian Howard, Nicole Brisson, Roy Elamar. I think that's three. That's three. That's a good start.
All right. So hit me. So why?
Well, I believe, these guys they're doing their own thing. They are concerned about offering something that is unique all the time. They are constantly changing their menus. They are within the community doing things, keeping their name out there, being sustainable. There's all these different elements that make them really good chefs. And at the end of the day, they're always turning up a really excellent product that rivals, the Strip, right? And other amazing restaurants from, in other cities, right?
Let's get specific on each one. Give me the chef, give me the restaurant, and give me why they are one of your top three.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Chef Brian Howard. He's the owner of Sparrow and Wolf. He also recently opened Half Bird, which is a fried chicken and rotisserie spot. I'm talking about Brian Howard because he's been in the game for a really long time. He has worked under some prestigious chefs. He's been on the Strip. He's worked his way through finding out his true self and his type of cuisine. Because I say that because I feel like Brian Howard is it's not very specific. When you go in there, there's flavors, there's Asian style flavors. He all of his food is very over the top flavorful. It always changes, but it's taken him a while to find that, specific Brian Howard style, if you will. And Brian Howard going from Comsa to opening his own space on the Strip. He's been recognized many times. He's had lots of awards and he's constantly reinventing himself, which is amazing. He's got not only just great food, but they also do a really good job with their service.
So
they've got a really amazing team.
He's found his Brian Howard style at Sparrow and Wolf?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think he's done a lot of different things. And I feel like now it's complete. He's now being nationally recognized. I mean, 50 Best, the world's 50 Best is coming to Vegas. They're only hosting two events.
World's 50 Best what? You people don't know.
Restaurants. The world's 50 best restaurants coming to Las Vegas at the Wynn, which is a big deal. It's only been, I think, in the U.S., I think maybe it's been 8 or 10 years since it's been in the U.S.
And it's coming to Vegas. That is a big deal.
And it's coming to Vegas. It's at the Wynn. Now, the lineup for the world's 50 best is not Vegas restaurants. There are restaurants from all around the world that will be coming here. But Brian Howard is one of two chefs that were chosen to hold signature sessions at their restaurant that's off the Strip. So it just goes to show that these guys are being recognized for what they're doing. Their peers around the world, are excited to meet them. And that just takes them to the next level of what they're doing and accomplishing themselves, as leaders, in not just our community, but nationally.
I want to stay on Brian Howard for just a second because Sparrow and Wolf is in Spring Mountain, which has been an incredible food neighborhood for years now. So a lot of people have said, though, that Sparrow and Wolf has put Spring Mountain on the map, which seems a little unfair, like it ignores the culinary talent from Asia that's been there for years. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say that it puts it on the map. What I think Brian Howard did was he was one of the first chefs to take the step outside of the Strip to open his own place. He was one of the first local chefs to make that big push. And he's definitely recognized for that, for being successful, to recognize that, you can open a local spot and there is demand for it. Now, do I think that he put Chinatown, Spring Mountain on the map? I think no, that's a collaborative.
Yes.
We are known for Chinatown, Vegas. The
Right.
amount of restaurants that we have in such, however many city square blocks or miles or whatever is, it's overwhelming, the amount of amazing food that we have there. I think Brian Howard is one of the pioneers of local talent in Vegas for, once again, saying, hey, can I make this work? Is there enough people in the city that are going to come to a local restaurant, then, want to go to the Strip? Or can we get people from the Strip to come out into the local neighborhoods to dine? And I think, and he was one of the ones to do it first and make, other chefs start thinking about it. Do I want to do this? And it's a tough step. It's not an easy step to open your own business and to be responsible for everything that's happening, especially when you're coming from a major resort where you're getting paid well and you've got great insurance and you've got
Right.
teams of people to help you with every element to get things fixed. To take that jump is scary. And I think he was definitely one of the leaders in our culinary community to do that.
So
Yeah.
we'll come back to that because I do think that is a really interesting question at the core of this. But give me chef number 2.
All right, let's talk about Nicole Brisson.
All right, let's do it.
So fearless leader, amazing woman in
What's
the
the
industry
restaurants?
forever. She is now the part owner of Brezza at Resorts World
Right.
and Bar Zazu. So,
Yes.
And in Vegas, most people knew her from Carne Vino, who was the executive chef there, and then led the Vitale Group, culinary team in Las Vegas and opened Italy as the executive chef. Yeah. These are all very difficult positions, very challenging. And she works her butt off and it shows, right? She's constantly doing things reinvented. She's pulling the best product. She's doing everything herself. And she's got a large team around her and she's been very successful.
I've been to Bar Zazu and I really do love it. I mean, Resorts World has really great food options all around, but that space has a great vibe. I really enjoy the bar program. It's clear that people like working there, which I think is so key to a service industry based place. People are really invested in what they're doing there. I think it's wonderful.
I mean, she definitely took a lot of people that have worked with her for years at Carne Vino and Italy that moved over with her when she opened up Brezza. I mean, there's probably some people that have been with her for, I don't know, over 10 years. And that says a lot, right? About somebody.
That they'll follow her. Yeah,
absolutely. And all of her clientele that would come to see her, when conventions would come in town at Carne Vino or going over to Brezza. She's got a big following within the food world as well as the cigar world, which I just found out about. So while the cigar convention was here, she was booming. I mean, nonstop business the entire time. But she definitely made a name for herself. She stays very consistent in what she's doing. And she's another person that is not scared to get involved in community events. I mean, I've done a lot with her, over the years because she wants to be involved. She wants to help out. And I think that's another piece of getting to that next step.
Great. Okay. So what about your third top up and coming picks?
All right. Roy Elamar. Roy Elamar is an amazing chef. He was at the Bellagio for a very long time as the executive chef of Harvest. First it was Cincy and then it was Harvest. And so he was at Bellagio doing his own thing, whether people knew about him or not. And then he broke away. I want to say in the pandemic, he opened Fine Company. So he is the executive chef of Fine Company. This is in downtown Summerlin. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the expressions of his food are so clean and so beautiful and so well done. I would very confidently say that he will have his second place very soon. Yeah.
Very cool. That's one I haven't been to because I'm in Henderson and that is a journey.
You gotta plan it out. You gotta make the plan to go there.
It's true. You know what? I have a friend I owe a dinner to. I'll ask her out. We'll get dinner. I'll just be able to check it out. But actually,
let me know.
Wait,
I'll get the reservation for you.
Ooh, Jolene. This is what I'm talking about. These are the perks you get as a podcast host, everybody.
Right.
Let's shout out Fine Company's cuisine a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit about the menu and the food?
Yeah, so Fine Company, I would say it is, very just fresh seasonal American fare. He's got a couple of twists in it because of his heritage. He likes to put a little Hawaiian mix into something. So you might see some Asian flavors. But super, what I was saying, it's just super clean, really well done, seasonal food, great breakfast, great lunch, great dinner, just done really well.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
If you're unaware, T-Mobile calls themselves the Un-carrier, which is fitting, considering they've just unraveled their price lock guarantee for new customers. If you ask me, that's pretty uncool. If you're uncomfortable with a company that says one thing but does another, then stick with Xfinity, whose whole home Wi-Fi, wired internet, service, speed, and reliability are unparalleled. Avoid the Un-carrier. Stick with Xfinity. Effective for new customers after 1/17/24. T-Mobile's price lock will only reimburse your last bill if you terminate service due to a price increase.
So I was super happy to see Henderson represented with a James Beard finalist. So tell me about Steve Kessler.
Steve Kessler just recently opened Aroma Latin Cocina in Henderson, and it is a tiny spot. It is in a strip mall, like so many of our amazing restaurants, that I know is extremely challenging for them in the very beginning, and stuck it out there, just putting out really amazing food, and got recognized. And, he's been in the game for a long time. He worked, I think, at Bouchon. He worked under Jose Andres, and he was also even a part of EDO Tapas. With Oscar, who is also, honestly, I don't know why I didn't put him in my top 3 because he's one of my favorites as well.
This is a shout out. That's good.
Yeah. So, and then opened Aroma, and he's getting a lot of love for it, and I know it was challenging, and so I'm expecting that this is going to take him also to the next level. And not that they don't love their location. Maybe they love it more now because they've got some good press around it to get people there. But it was really challenging to get people there, right? Yeah. And he's putting out just really beautiful, well thought, food. Small location, great plated items. So it's very exciting for him to get this nod.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and off strip James Beard nom. I mean, it feels really good for us.
I mean,
right?
all of them are.
Yeah.
All of them are. We have, 5? Brian
semifinalists,
Howard,
right?
Semifinalists. That's right. He's the only finalist. We've only had a couple of finalists in the last 3 years, but yes, he's the only one this year. But yes, just absolutely amazing. We're all very excited for him and to see where this goes for him.
And it is so interesting to see how these, the strip transformed in the 80s. Or early 90s with Wolfgang Puck. And now, of course, it makes sense that there are all these people who have trained up locals under these amazing nationally owned chefs that are now opening their own spaces. So let's go to the Arts District because I feel like the local restaurant getting the most buzz right now is Esther's Kitchen, right? James Trees is the chef there. And I mean, everybody is talking about Esther's Kitchen especially since their move to the big new space. Do you think that all of this chatter is deserved?
I do. I mean, first of all, he was one of the first guys down there to really make a presence and to get people to that location, which is difficult. I mean, the Arts District has been booming now for several years and it's growing a lot. But, people were, I would probably say, a little hesitant at first to go down there and to open a restaurant. Where are all the people going to come from? I mean, our community downtown is amazing, but it's not overly populated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people do have to travel there to see him. He's definitely getting people that's coming all around town as well as tourists that are going to Esther's Kitchen. So he's putting out a really good product. He's putting out a product that is also affordable. You know, like all these things matter. The room is really great. The staff is trained really well. I mean, you know, I live around the corner. I go in there probably once a week, and I know the bartenders, I know the managers, I know whatever. So it
They've
feels really
got
good.
such a local following. Like the
They
people
really
that
do.
go
It's
are there. Yeah.
If I'm going to dinner or I'm going to a show or I'm going to the Smith Center. And I think, you know, that's kind of a big push in the very beginning. They got a lot of people that were going to the Smith Center, to go and eat at Esther's first. There really weren't any restaurants, you know, like right there to dine at, you know? I mean, and while we think there is a lot, there's really not. You know, we're still building on the restaurant scene in this small area of the Arts District. You know, they are coming and we're building fast. But, you know, so when he decided to take over the spot next door, which is a massive undertaking.
Huge.
I mean, 10,000 square feet.
Huge.
Also extremely stressful, challenging. You know, how do you pack, you know, you went 2,100 square feet to 10,000. How do I get that packed every night?
Right.
And I will tell you what they do. And
They
it
are
is
packed. Yes.
impressive. Breakfast or brunch, lunch, dinner, always.
Yep.
There's always somebody at the door waiting. And, yeah, so kudos to him for doing that and really shining the light as well on the Arts District for what he's done.
Yeah.
And then also, once again, gives confidence to other chefs who want to come down to know that there is clientele, you know, for business, for great restaurants in downtown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, we've been touching on this, but it seems like a lot of our talent has been leaving the Strip to open up spots in more local neighborhoods, from Summerlin to Henderson to the Arts District. So why is that happening, do you think?
Well, I think a lot of people move to Vegas to work under really prestigious big name chefs, right? And to learn and to build their reputation and, you know, do it sort of the right way, right? And move up the ranks and learn as much as you can. At that point, you kind of hit a spot where you want to start to do your own food, you know? And then that's when you can actually make that split. So now Vegas has got an abundance of amazing talent that has been here for years. And it only makes sense to see that it is possible to start to really build Vegas as a city and a local community to have all these awesome, unique restaurants that are chef focused.
And is that why you think they're staying in Vegas as opposed to going to their hometown?
I think that Vegas has got a lot of opportunity. I think we're still such a very young city, right? That there's so much opportunity here for growth. So you're getting in and the level of, like, you know, your square footage or your price square foot is way lower than another city. So you have the opportunity to try to get it started, see if you can make it work. And if you decide that it's not for you, there's a lot of jobs to be had as well for really amazing chefs. So I feel like you've got the sort of that, like, you know, you got a little buffer if you need it.
Yeah.
A cushion. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them. If you look at the you know, Brian Howard was on the Strip. You know, at one point, James Trees was on the Strip. He used to work for Bradley Ogden's back in the day before he left and came back. Steve Cussler was on the Strip. Oscar Amador with EDO and Enema. He was before opening those. Gina used to work for Scott Conant at Gina Marnelli of La Strega and Harlow used to work for Scott Conant, DOCG. Nicole Brisson was at Carne Vino. Jamie Tran also worked on the Strip. I mean, so all of these guys have started on the Strip and then got to the safe place where they felt confident enough to take that step. Right.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you've got a team of people that want to work with you, that also helps out. But I think it's opportunity. It's being able to afford it. And who knows how long you'll be able to afford it. I mean, the price of opening a restaurant right now, even just from a few years ago, is up, especially to build a restaurant. Your food costs are way up, like all these things, all these challenges. So they're doing great. And it's definitely, they're busting their ass to, like, make this happen. It's, you know, not that easy.
So we did a whole episode with John Curtis and Gemini Stevens on celebrity chefs in Vegas. You know, basically said that they're over it as a consumer, but they also seem to be the only ones opening up new restaurants on the Strip right now. Is that true?
You mean the celebrity chefs that are opening the Strip? Yeah, I feel like these are the deals that the casinos are making. And are we over it? I mean, you know, it's the tourists that are coming in from around the world. I don't know that they're over it. You know what I mean? But I mean, as locals, I mean, we rarely go to the Strip we're not there that often.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? To do that. We're mostly eating local because we have such amazing food off the strip.
Right.
And once again, it comes down to, I can afford to eat out regularly off the strip, but if I'm going to the strip, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg, and I'm going
Right.
to do it every once in a while. It's like, kudos to Nicole for getting back on the strip, but being actually a partner, in her business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Opposed to just working underneath someone else. I mean, that's a big deal for her, or I believe that it is, a huge accomplishment for her. But, yes, I think, maybe that's just how the mega resorts work, right?
Sure. They want what they think is a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
We're starting to see some changes with, the bringing in chefs from other cities to open up restaurants here. That also seems to be kind of common on the strip. They're definitely better known, but not the ones that are like a TV star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I do think that like getting someone to Spring Mountain for Sparrow and Wolf is probably a little easier than getting someone to Summerlin or Henderson. So like, can we get tourists off the strip to go to these local spots?
I think a lot of times if you get a tourist to be off the strip to these places, it's because they're already they're most likely coming in town, and their itineraries are already set for them, and they're probably already staying at like Red Rock Casino or something like that. I mean, just to be totally, honest about it. And that does happen. I mean, a lot of, there are convention people that come to town that are staying in these other resorts, so they are getting that.
Do we need to get tourists off the strip to go to these restaurants?
I don't know. I mean, first of all, it can't hurt to ever have more business.
Sure.
Ever. You need to put butts in seats regardless. So, you should definitely always, in my opinion, you should be marketing to everyone that you could possibly get to your place. Right. But do we need to get them there? I mean, like I said, it can't hurt to.
So are there any other, you did a couple other shout outs too. Are there some other local chefs in their spot that you like to give a quick shout out to that we didn't get to in depth?
I don't know. I feel like we just talked about a little bit of everybody. Probably I didn't scream out Gina. I mentioned her, Martinelli, that's got La Strega in Harlow. I think that she's a fabulous chef. She's also in Summerlin. So she is one of those places that, are you going to go out there and get it? She's probably, if I had to guess, 80% of her clientele is probably locals, I think she's got a few more things up her sleeve though. I think she's doing a really good job. She's super consistent. She also got, she was a semifinalist, I think last year, for a James Beard, right?
And what about Jamie Tran?
Jamie Chan's amazing. Love her. She's also way out there.
Yeah.
So I don't get to see her that often. I'm going to be doing an event with her here soon, which I can't wait. She's super fun to be around. I mean, she was on Top Chef. So she's getting the business she's getting probably is a lot to do. I mean, outside of just having like great food, she got that national like push, right? That's getting people out to her. And I would guarantee that she's getting tourists that are going out to Black Sheep to see her.
Right.
Yeah.
So predictions. What's next for chefs and dining here in Las Vegas?
What's next for chefs in Vegas? I don't know. I think that the biggest thing that we're looking at right now is what's been happening for the last, 6 years. We're going to continue to grow these communities. We're going to continue to have more amazing food. And let's hope that we get the Michelin Guide to come to Vegas.
That'd be good.
Right? We need this. It's great to have the world's 50 best restaurants. But at the end of the day, the Michelin is like really what I think drives us, covers, in the places, and it puts us on the map for so many things. I mean, I know when I go out to other cities, I'm looking at to see who was, Michelin nominated or, Michelin star or Michelin recommended, whatever, Big Gourmand and like all these hidden gems, right?
Jolene, thank you so much. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed this show, you gotta tell a friend and make a plan. Get those resis, get out to these amazing restaurants. While you're at it, you can rate our show or leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter for tons of other great foodie roundups. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.
I just realized that I could have picked a different background.
Oh, it's not video. It doesn't matter.
Oh, great.
It's just audio. This is just so that
Fantastic.
we can talk.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I
Good.
mean, I know I've really dressed ours up with our podcast award, but this is
Okay,
all
good.
audio. It's all good.
Fabulous.